Hello and welcome to another Trike Bike video. In this video we're going to unwrap and assemble the children's Trike Bikes in 12 and 16 inch size. The first step in the assembly process is to remove the trike from the box, and to do this we need to cut off the strapping. I often use a very sharp knife, a pair of scissors, or in this case a pair of side cutters. Once removing all of the straps, we can then very carefully cut open the box using a sharp knife. Once the box is opened, we can remove the trike. And then we can close up the box, and we can use this as a stand to keep the trike off the ground when we're doing the assembly. So once all the flaps are closed, we can drop the trike back on top of the box. As you will see, the trike bike comes about 90% assembled already, so all we need to do is to fit a few things, including the handlebars, the seat and the mudguards. The first step of assembly is to remove all the plastic protectors that are over the trike to prevent damage to the end of the axles. We can then go ahead and start to remove some of the packaging. A lot of it will be held on by cable ties. So again, using side cutters, pair of scissors, something sharp, remove all of the cable ties, and then we can fit the steering stem into the gooseneck area. This is tightened in place with a 12mm spanner, and it's also important to notice there'll be a little deformation around the shaft of the gooseneck, and this means it has to be inserted that far into the head stem area of the bike to be safe. This needs to be done up nice and tight so the steering cannot ever slip. Now we remove the seat from the basket. Again, noting there is a minimum insertion area for the seat stem, and we just do up the bracket loosely at the moment to stop the seat from moving, and we'll make final adjustments once we've got the rider on the tricycle. Really important to note is a bracket on the other side of the seat stem bracket. Make sure it's in place, and that'll stop it from spinning around when you're doing the assembly. Now we come to remove all of the packaging. Take your time in doing this. Use a very sharp knife or a pair of scissors, and make sure whatever you do, don't scratch the frame when you're cutting the sticky tape. We can remove padding from around the back basket. This is to stop anything getting scratched or damaged during the shipping process. We can then remove the mudguards from the rear of the trike. It's important to note that the mudguard that's on the right-hand side of the trike, once it's taken off, actually gets put on the left-hand wheel, and vice versa. And of course the reflectors are pointing to the back of the trike. This is where they go when they're assembled. First thing, remove the plastic wrapping. And you'll see on the bottom of each of the mudguard brackets is a small bolt and a nut. These are what attaches the mudguard bracket to the frame of the trike. Using a Phillips head screwdriver, we carefully position the screw onto the bracket on the rear axle and then tighten it firmly. Before we tighten everything up fully tight, we want to make sure that the rear mudguard bracket is aligned correctly. So before you do everything up nice and tight, stand back and have a look, see that it's level. You'll have to position it a little bit over the wheel, so it's okay to bend it. Then go back and retighten those nuts and bolts to make sure everything is firm. Putting air into the tyres is really simple. The manufacturer reckons 35 to 50 psi is the best. We fill all of our trikes up to 50 psi. Once it's firm, replace the valve caps. This will stop dirt and other debris getting in the valve stem. We can now remove the plastic off the front mudguard. Sometimes you'll get a little bit left after you pull it off under the bracket, so occasionally we need to loosen that bracket, remove the plastic and then tighten it up again. Here we are fitting the left mudguard. Same as last time, the bolt goes through the frame, the nut goes on the back, everything is tightened and secured. Sometimes to get a clear access to the bolt and nut position, you'll need to move the rear wheel to align it so you can get a screwdriver or at least your finger through to hold it while you're just doing it up loosely. Once we have everything aligned, we can then go back and tighten the nuts. That's it. We've got our trike bike assembled. There are a couple of small adjustments you may need to make, including the brakes. These are already preset at the factory, but sometimes they will need a little bit of adjustment, especially after the first or second ride. Thank you for watching this video, and we hope your trike bike brings you years of enjoyment for your children.